It is all but confirmed that this is the worst Angels team of all time. Loss number 95, back-to-back losses to these Chicago White Sox. Are you kidding me? We'll talk about it. We'll try to make sense of it all and really just be depressed on tonight's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast right now.
You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. Hello, Postcast people, and welcome to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel and after the fact, wherever you get the Locked On Angels podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, my name is Gavin Carlson, a former credentialed journalist with the Daily Bruin in the LA area, now part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And yes, let's cut right to the chase. As Angels Win says in the chat, unbelievable we can be this bad. What is there left to say? What is there left to say? Our team is the Angels, and the Angels lose tonight 4-3 in extra innings, in 10 innings, against a World Series contender, right? No. Against the 38 and 120 Chicago White Sox. This is one of the worst teams in the history of baseball, and yet the Angels have now lost back-to-back games to them to make it 95 losses on the season. So sure, we don't have 120 losses. We're not one of the worst teams in MLB history, but this is the worst team in Angels history. We now have tied the record for the most losses in a season with 95. Now, it's not technically, depending on who you ask, the worst season yet, just because when we did have 95 losses, we had 65 wins back in 1980. So the win percentage in that season was .406, or 40% of your games. We've only won 39.9% of our games this season. So as of now, it's the worst record. If we were to win out, then technically we'd have a higher win percentage at 67 and 95 with 4 games to go. But we're not going to win out. We're going to win at least one of the next, or lose at least one of the next 4. So it will be the most losses ever in a season and probably the lowest winning percentage ever in a season, which would guarantee that it's the worst season in Angels history. Yes, what a great way to start this show. So exciting, so positive. No, it's not positive, but still appreciate everybody here as always. I know I wasn't able to do the show yesterday, just had some other stuff I had to do. Obviously, I've started my other job, so whenever there's a game during the day, I'm not able to do it anymore. I know that's a bummer, but we're only 4 games left in this season. But yes, when there's a game during the day, I'm not able to do it. And then yesterday was one of those rare cases where I actually had something for work in the evening as well, so wasn't able to do yesterday's game. I missed the absolute collapse by the Angels yesterday, but don't worry, they made sure to give us another one tonight that I could talk about with you guys. As always, thanks so much to everybody who's in here as always. You guys are the reason I do the show. It's not this team, I'll tell you that much. So I shout out to all of you. Appreciate you all so much. And shout out to the sponsor of today's show. It is Booking.com, Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball, and get the Booking.com app today. Now, where we start tonight's show is with how this game ended, right? On anytime you have an extra inning game, it's going to be the story in terms of how this game ended, and it does not help that yesterday's game ended with a blown lead for the Angels. This one technically not a blown lead. The Angels were actually down 3-2 before they tied this one up at 3, but they left some runs on the board, to say the least, in the 8th inning. And if the 8th inning goes differently for us, we probably take a lead and don't have to worry about watching the Angels blow this lead eventually in the 10th inning. It should have never gotten to the 10th inning. So we'll take you to the top of the 8th, where after Logan O'Hoppe fly out, because what's new? O'Hoppe struggling. Wagaman singles, Stice walks, and Gustavo Campero single. So we have the bases loaded for Michael Stefanik. Look at the three guys who get it done, though. Just take note of this. Wagaman, Theis, and Campero. Not big names on this team at all. And then who's the guy who has the clutch RBI hit? It's Michael Stefanik, another guy who doesn't get that much time. Now, was it a crazy, huge hit deep? Not at all. It was our classic Ron Washington suicide squeeze. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it. This time it works, though. It works. A 1-1 suicide squeeze on a hanging slider that Stefanik is able to get down. It does enough to score the run, tie the game at 3. And based on what happens after this, can we really blame Ron Washington? I know it's been a story all season with him and the suicide squeezes and how much he's obsessed with them. But when it works, and then the very next at-bat, you have a veteran in Taylor Ward who's supposed to be the guy who just gets it done, right? The veteran. Well, he grounds into a double play. Bases loaded, 2-2 pitch, 1 out, sac fly opportunity. He gets a low slider, double play. Tailor-made double play. So can you really blame Ron Washington for saying, when a guy like Michael Stefanik is up, let alone the other guys that were hitting before that, Campero and Wagaman and freaking, guys like that. And then Taylor Ward grounds into a double play when we let a guy swing. So we're really going to blame Ron Washington for being obsessed with the suicide squeeze? I don't know. But the moral of the story is Stefanik gets it done with the suicide squeeze, and then Taylor Ward does the exact opposite and manages to get 2 outs with 1 swing to leave the bases loaded and just absolutely crush us in the top of the 8th. The game ends up going all the way to extra innings. Neither offense really able to do anything. Then the Angels blow their opportunity in the top of the 8th, or top of the 10th, thanks to, yep, you bet it, another double play. This time after you get the, guaranteed runner on second, Logan O'Hoppe walks, and Wagaman, who came through in that 8th inning, he comes up and he immediately grounds into the double play before Theis flies out. And then the White Sox didn't waste much time in the bottom of the 10th. It helps that Jose Quijada is pitching. He hasn't been great at times. And though he gets the strikeout on Luis Robert, Andrew Benintendi hits a liner to left field. He hit it decently well. Wasn't a terrible pitch. Wasn't a great pitch. Quijada went with 3 straight high fastballs. And after 2 of them being balls, the third one, the 2-0 pitch, is crushed. So Quijada, who I guess I should take that back. Quijada's been good, okay? He has been quite good in terms of stats, actually. I think my brain just sees Jose and thinks Jose Suarez and goes, oh God, Jose Suarez is terrible. Jose Quijada's been great. And then maybe my mind blends the two and says that Jose Quijada is somewhere in the middle. No. Jose Quijada's been good. The ERA is still sub-2, all right? I got to make sure I give him his credit. He's been pretty darn good. But unfortunately today, he wasn't able to come through. The lefty-on-lefty crime for Andrew Benintendi gets the White Sox the win. As Skylar says here, isn't it ironic that the team with 120 losses shows more urgency and poise than us? I mean, that's crazy. A trap game featuring 2 terrible records. And I think he meant a different word, not trap, in terms of what this game was. Yeah, absolutely brutal. And then Anaheim Angel says, I guess the White Sox will get their 120th loss after we leave town. Yeah, at this point, I don't blame you for having that prediction. I mean, we're not just trading games with the White Sox. I take it back. We are trading games with the White Sox is what I meant. I'm like, it's not like we're winning a majority of the games. Literally last series, we win 1 of 2, and then we've lost the first, or 1 of 3, and then we've lost the first 2 of these 3 games in this series. So in our last 5 games against the White Sox, we're 2-3. 2-3 against the White Sox. Remember, we've been talking about this road to 68 losses, road to 67 losses, road to avoiding 100 losses, all of this stuff. And I kept saying, hey, just be in a position where you can take advantage of the White Sox series and you'll win 5 of 6 against that terrible team, right? Well, how about losing 3 of your first 5? We're in danger of going 2-4 against the White Sox when we're playing to avoid the worst record in the history of the franchise. It's unimaginable. It's so painful. But yeah, the moral of the story is that Taylor Ward double play killed us. Obviously, not scoring a run in the top of the 10th kills you with the Wagaman double play. 2 deadly double plays, and the Angels blow it in the 10th and lose their 95th game of the season. When I come back, we'll talk about the first 7 innings of this game, why the Angels were down 3-2. Some good things, but plenty of bad things as well. We'll get to the rest of your comments, and then we'll wrap this one up here on this edition tonight of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. Now, once again, today's show is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Booking.com is great because we all have those U.S. cities that we secretly wanted to learn more about, especially those other baseball cities, maybe the baseball cities of your baseball rivals, right? Depending on the teams you like. For us, our rivals, whether it's Seattle, Houston, maybe you want to visit. You don't want to admit it because we aren't fans of those teams, but they're great cities and maybe you want to visit. And so with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay even in your baseball rival city during the postseason. So maybe it's time to test your baseball competition's stadium cuisine. Luckily, on Booking.com, you can find the stadium stay that's just right for you. With Booking.com's wide variety of choice across the U.S., you can go incognito to all your baseball rival cities. I went to Yankee Stadium, used Booking.com for my stay in New York City, and everything was super easy because Booking.com delivers exactly the right U.S. stay for you. It's really efficient, whether you use the app or the website. They make it really easy, and they always have great options. So once again, use Booking.com. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your baseball rivals. Booking.com, Booking.yeah. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. And whether you're an Angels fan like all of us or an NFL fan, I got exciting news for you. With the NFL season, you can start with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Once again, you get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook, to take advantage of this great offer. It's a good one. It really is. Back here live one more time on the Locked On Sport. Not one more time. We got 2 more times here on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'm Gavin Carlson. You guys called me out last week saying that I looked tired because I had started up my job. Like I said, if you're familiar, if you're one of the loyal viewers, like a lot of the people I see here in the chat right now are, that I last week started my first full-time job. I'm fresh out of college, and, the 9 to 5 life for me, it's more than that. I'm getting in the office at 8:15, but got to commute down to Inglewood, down to the Intuit Dome. I work for the Clippers, and so coming from Culver City area, it's like a 30-minute drive in the morning. I wake up at 7 and all that, so you can probably see I can see it right now just looking at my monitor. I got the eye bags under me right now. It's I am tired, to say the least, and it doesn't help that our baseball team, my baseball team, all of our baseball teams, the Angels, they take years off of our lives with how bad they are. 4-3 the loss here tonight. You don't even need to know that it's a loss. You don't even need me to tell you it's a loss for you to know it's a loss when I just say Angels. 4-3, even against a team like the White Sox, who came into this series with 36 wins. Just take that. 36 wins out of 156. This is just historically bad, this White Sox team, and yet we've lost the first 2 games of this season. I'm just curious, worst seasons in MLB history. I know the worst season in Angels history, but what about the worst seasons in MLB history? I'm looking it up right now. The Cleveland Spiders went 20-134 in 1899. Let's look at the modern era. Okay, so the Philadelphia Athletics went 36-117 in 1916 for a win percentage of 235. The next worst win percentage in MLB history is the Chicago White Sox at 38-120. And now I'm curious, what would have happened if they were 36-122? The win percentage would be 29.5%, which would be the worst of all time. So we're helping right now. We're helping the White Sox not have the worst season in the history of baseball, which is crazy. We're literally helping them. Think about it. Like I said, they're 38 and 120. If they lost the first 2 games of this series, they'd be 36 and 122. The worst season, coming into this year was 36 and 117. So we are assisting us. The only thing we're good for is making sure that the White Sox aren't historically bad. Wow. I mean, even if we beat them tomorrow, they won't be, there yet. So we're really assisting them. We really, really are. I already told you how the Angels blew this one in innings 8 through 10. They actually, tied the game up at 3-3 and then blew it by not adding any more runs, thanks to a double play from Taylor Ward and then a double play in the 10th from Wagaman, stranded or blew the opportunity to score runs in extra innings. Bottom of the second inning is where the Angels fell behind right away, thanks to a couple extra base hits from the Chicago White Sox, unfortunately, with guess who on the mound? Guess who? If you didn't watch this game and it went poorly, take a guess who was on the mound. If you guessed Jose Suarez, that's right, you win a prize. No, but Jose Suarez on the mound usually doesn't go well. I know he had a fluky good start recently, but back to his usual self. Gave up a double and a single in the first inning. Luckily got out of it thanks to some chaos, but just wait till the bottom of the second, and that's when things start to crumble. Sosa doubles. He gets a strikeout on Ramos, but then Corey Lee hits a home run, a line drive to make it 2-0 White Sox off of Jose Suarez. First pitch swinging and a first pitch changeup. Caught too much of the plate, probably a little bit higher than he would like, and Lee crushed it, 101.6 exit velo, and just like that, it's 2-0 White Sox. The Angels offense wasn't doing much until the top of the fourth inning, a pretty chaotic inning. 2 outs before Theis walks. A pass ball gets him to second. Then Campero gets hit. It's first and second. Lopez singles, and the bases are loaded. They bring in a new pitcher against Taylor Ward, and instantly Ward gets an RBI, or 2 RBI singles. So that's why I'm not going to be too critical of him for what happened in the 8th inning, because he did get a 2 RBI single here to tie it up at 2, but then leave it to Suarez to give it up right back. Sosa already had a double in the game, and in the bottom of the 4th, he gets another extra base hit. This one is a fluke of a homer. 354 feet. Are you kidding me? 354? That's absurd. But he hits at 354 to put the White Sox up 3-2. There's an error in this inning. There's 2 more walks in this inning. Somehow the Angels only give up 1 run, and Suarez is able to make it all the way through the bottom of the 5th inning. A miracle there. But yeah, that's how the Angels fell behind 3-2. And then, as I told you, they were able to tie the game up, all to lose it, all to make us happy for a little bit, all to make us depressed. It's really it's the Angels experience at this point. I see the chat is absolutely going crazy a little bit, so I'll get to some of those chats in a second. But just looking at the Angels in terms of their box score, what happened, the Angels drew 9 walks today and scored 3 runs. 9 walks. I don't know if I should be happy about that or annoyed. 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. We leave 11 on base. We ground into 3 double plays, Pilar, Wagaman, Ward. We leave 4 guys in scoring position with 2 outs. Just absolutely brutal. The only extra base hit coming from Neto with that double. Other than that, nothing. Strikeouts everywhere per usual. Neto goes 2 for 4, so he has a good game, but he still has 2 strikeouts. Logan O'Hoppe, he just doesn't know how to get hit. Luckily, he had 2 walks, but he still struck out. Pilar, 0 for 4. He had a walk, but he had a double play and a strikeout. Really, nobody was stellar today. I mean, even Ward, like I said, he does have the 2 RBI swing, but other than that, he's 0 for 3 with the strikeout. He did have a walk as well. But yeah, just a real rough game because nobody does well. And just looking at this box score, other than Campero, who has barely played, nobody has higher than a 250 average for the Los Angeles Angels. 250. And you look at the White Sox box score, and my goodness, it's somehow even uglier. I mean, it better be if they have 120 losses, but nobody over 250. There was a time where I was saying, hey, O'Hoppe might get to 280, Neto might get to 280, Shanuel might get to 270, 260, something like that. Neto's all the way down to 248. The OPS is 760. Ward's at 250. The OPS is 763. He is somehow now going to finish the season as the best Angels hitter, which is a disgrace given what he was doing earlier in the year. Ohapi is sub 700 on the OPS. How does that happen? How does that happen? Shanuel is risking being sub 700. He's hitting 250 with a 705 OPS. It's just ugly. Everything about this is ugly. I don't even want to read the box score anymore. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to take my last break. When I come back, we'll get to your comments. We'll chat. We'll try to just be a little bit positive as we end this one. We're going to take our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. Now, finally, today's show is brought to you by Game Time. If you don't know what Game Time is, it's an authorized ticketing marketplace, and it has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. And that's a big deal because it already was pretty darn easy with Game Time. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I had an amazing experience with Game Time. I keep telling the story. I even brought it up already being in New York in July. But when I went to 3 games, 2 in New York, then 1 the second I got home in the Bay Area. Went to a Liberty game, a Yankees game, and then a Chelsea game in the Bay Area in a span of 7 days with Game Time. And literally for all 3 events, I did not buy the ticket until I was on the way to the game. For the Liberty game and the Yankees game, on the subway in New York, buying the ticket with Game Time. And then for the Chelsea game, as you can see, big Chelsea fan. You see the 2 jerseys behind me. They're both signed, by the way. This one you can't see. I'm trying to make this one better in terms of the lighting, but there's like 20 signatures on here. Unfortunately, you can't see them. But big Chelsea guy, and with Game Time, on the way to that game with my dad, I was able to buy the tickets. Super easy. It's great. There's so many great features. Now there's Game Time Picks. There's the all-in pricing feature, which I love. It makes it so simple. You must toggle this to see it, but when you do, it'll show you the total upfront with no surprise fees. At checkout, you get a panoramic view of your seat or from your seat on the app before you buy. There's the lowest price guarantee. There's Game Time ticket coverage. So much more. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? I don't even know why I did that, but what time is it? Game Time. You can probably tell by the end of that ad read that this team is making me go crazy, but I am back here live on Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels lose again 4-3 in extra innings to the White Sox, the historically bad White Sox, the would-be worst record in the history of baseball White Sox, if it wasn't for the Angels. If the Angels beat the White Sox the first 2 games of the series like we're supposed to, the White Sox would be on pace to have the worst season in MLB history, or at least since the turn of the century, since the 1900s began. But thanks to us, they might dodge that record because only the Angels can manage to do that. We're going to get to your comments now before we wrap this one up. Already talked a little bit or read a few of them. Jeff says 4 more games until we lose 99. Yeah, at this point, it might happen. If we get swept by the White Sox in this season, that might be more embarrassing than it being the worst season in Angels history. The fact that we might get swept by the worst team in baseball history. That's crazy. Anaheim Angel says, Jeff, I take it we're getting swept. Angels Win says, Jeff, always staying positive. Yeah, he's never staying positive, but unfortunately, he's usually right in being negative. Useless Trucker says, Jose Suarez just signed a 15-year, $450 million contract. Washington says Jose is the future, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Angels Win says it's been the worst season in Angels history. Zach Neto has been good this year. Even him, it hasn't been great. He also says, I'm afraid the Angels are going to make a dumb free agent signing contract year season. Anthony Santander comes to mind. Please, the Angels do not make a dumb free agent move. I agree. I don't want Anthony Santander. I know we've been linked. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. The last thing we need is a guy who's kind of a versatile player and all that. No, I want guys that are going to play their position. They're going to play it well, and they're going to be good. We don't have enough of those guys. Perry Menage and Suarez will sign a new contract and bring stability to the Angels for years to come. I love these Suarez jokes. Anaheim Angel says, it wouldn't be the Angels if they didn't sign someone stupid from signing a contract to the 60-day injured list. How do we not score with all these free base runners? That's right, we are the Angels. Yes, we had 9 walks and we only scored 3 runs. 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position. More quotes here. He says, Suarez will say, I have made my home with the Angels. I will be a regular starter in the rotation. Oh, man. It's more like Suarez, no one will sign me, so I will sign with the Angels for a lot of money. Yeah, probably true. Our future is secure with Rendon, Trout, and Suarez for years to come. You guys are just making me laugh here on these comments. User Strucker says the White Sox now have optimism on behalf of the White Sox. Their confidence is restored and they look forward to 2025 thanks to us. Yeah, for real. I mean, I cannot believe that. Literally, they would already have the worst season in MLB history if it weren't for the Angels and what we've done these last 2 games. It's just, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do the postcast tomorrow because, like I said, I am now a full-time employee working that 8 to 5 life that, for me, 8 to 5:30, 6 p.m. sometimes life with the Clippers. So won't be able to do the show tomorrow, unfortunately, because it is during the regular work hours. It's an 11 a.m. First pitch, so I'm going to miss it. But I'm hoping we win, obviously, just in general, but I also kind of want to be here to do the postcast when we do hit loss number 96 and officially make it the worst season. I feel like we kept talking about it so much throughout the season. I want to be here to cry with you guys on the postcast. So hopefully it's not tomorrow. Hopefully they wait to lose their 96th game until the Rangers come to town on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But yeah. Anthony Jimenez says, tough to watch this team, but always look forward to the postcast. Thanks, Gavin. Appreciate what you do. I appreciate you, Anthony. It makes me feel good. You know, I do this for you guys. And Anaheim Angel says, Gavin, we will miss you, but not the game. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a good time for me to say. It's really been fun. You know, I never imagined it being, I imagined it being a rough year, I'll be honest, but not this rough. And it's been rough for a lot of the teams. You know, UCLA football, it's been rough. The Rams until last Sunday, it's been rough. And, yeah, the Angels, it's been rough the whole year, but you guys have made it fun. And literally, you know, like right now, especially since I started my new job, I have been exhausted. You can see it in my eyes. I've been so tired. And yet I'm driving home. I'm on the freeway. I'm watching the game. I'm in traffic, and I'm still excited to come home and do the show just because of you guys, right? Like, I didn't get to do the show yesterday, and so I'm like, man, let's win this game so we can have a fun show with everybody. And they lose, unfortunately, and now I'm all negative and everything. But like, still, you know, if they lost and I didn't have this show, I would just be like, oh, I hate it. But because of you guys, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this team. Hopefully they're going to win. And no matter what, I'm going to, you know, have a show and bring some energy for you guys. So I appreciate you all sticking with me throughout this horrible season, at least making the postcast the place to be when the game hangs out, and also just, you know, being nice. So appreciate you guys so much. Andrew says draft pick might be nice next year, I guess. Hey, there's always a good way to look at things. I'm working in sales now. And by the way, tell me in the comments, do I talk differently now? I have people close to me that say I talk differently now that I'm in sales and on the phone all the time. But if I do, let me know. But also, they're telling us to always, you know, be optimistic, stay positive. And so there's a good way to be positive right there, saying draft pick might be nice next year. That's a good way to look at things. But I'm going to wrap this one up now. Thanks so much for joining me as always. Luckily, I didn't accidentally say, thanks for calling, or thanks for taking my call. This is the LA Clippers. You know, good thing I didn't mess up and do that. But shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you so much. As always, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I won't be back tomorrow, but I will be back Friday night for the postcast after the Rangers game. Hopefully we win. Hopefully we don't end up setting this record. Let's win 4 in a row to end the season. How about that? We'll see. But take care, everybody. Appreciate you guys so much. And I'll be back on Friday. Let's get a win tomorrow. We cannot get swept by the White Sox. And as always, after every show, go Angels. Take care. Stay strong, everybody. Have a good one.